For a golden retriever, few things are more fun than a game of fetch. And here in West Arvada, Goldens fetch a lot of smiles, too. It's the home of a nonprofit called Golden Retriever Rescue of the Rockies, affectionately known as GRR, and it's always filled with lots of furry friends.
Currently, I believe we have about 17. Its typical ranges between 16 and sometimes up 22, 23. But when it gets that high, typically we put some of the dogs in foster care.
Incredibly, GRR has placed more than 3,500 Goldens in new homes since 1996. The group even got its own home in 2011.
We had a donor step forward and find this piece of property out here. It's about 5 acres. It's zoned agricultural, so it's nice, it's quiet, it's surrounded by larger properties as well. And so we moved in here in 2011.
These days, more than 150 volunteers lend a hand with everything from fundraising to dog walking. A lot of dog walking.
We have 50 volunteers on what we call our VIP dog walking team. And this is a close-knit group of people.
Volunteers not only spend time exercising the dogs, they take time to get to know them. But as they all say, what's not to love about a Golden?
Drop the ball. Look, I got another one. Go get it.
They are so goofy and they are so loving and they want to please you and they are so intelligent and they are just dear.
It takes an average of 2 weeks to place a dog in a new home, but they don't just go anywhere. Adopters are screened. Darla Henderson is the adoption coordinator, or doggy matchmaker, as she calls it.
We look at applications that come in and evaluate them, send them on to our phone interview team for a phone interview. And if they pass that, we go to the reference checking stage and check references. Sometimes we do a home visit.
Full-time caretaker Mary Kenton is the glue of the operation.
You know, I call her the dog whisperer, right? But she's very, very good at really understanding the dog side.
They're very gentle, they're very devoted, they always want to please you. They're just great companions. They're always good, most of the time.
She's been with GRR since 1997 and has seen a lot of dogs come and go. Some have had tougher journeys than others, like Bentley.
I took him to foster him and we did some medical tests on him, found out he was heartworm positive, and he was from Colorado, so heartworm is here.
Bentley's recovery took a while, but he is heartworm-free now.
I just fell in love with this guy. Bentley's 16 years old. He's been awesome. We spoil him rotten now.
Because of GRR's great reputation and strong base of support, Goldens come from as far away as Wyoming, New Mexico, and other neighboring states.
If they come from a shelter as a stray, we have to start from scratch. We don't know much about them at all. And then if they're an owner surrender, the information they give us, that's all we have. And sometimes they can fudge on that a little bit and we learn a little more about the dog, just getting to know them in foster care.
Some are surrendered by their owners due to hardships, such as Polo.
He had a horrible skin infection. He's 9 years old, and the family couldn't afford the fees or obviously to take care of him anymore. And so we took him, and it's been a long road.
Shipley says veterinary checks and medical care make up a hefty part of GRR's budget at $100,000 per year.
Contrary to what I think a lot of people assume, is it's not all senior dogs. The majority of our medical expenses ending up coming on dogs that are 5 years old and younger. So they've got a long time to give a family a lot of love.
Some stay with GRR longer than others, like Stella, who came with a group from a puppy mill.
They were something. They were afraid of everything. We placed her twice. She went over the fence. She wanted back here. So the second time when it happened, she stayed.
While dogs spend their nights in the house with Mary, daytime finds them in the day kennel, being spoiled and cared for by the dedicated volunteers. Of course, romping and chasing through the fields is always a favorite.
It just fills my heart with so much joy to be able to help these dogs. It's a labor of love. Definitely feel privileged to be able to do it.
In return, volunteers are thanked daily with a kiss, a wag, or a smile. It looks as real as can be. But don't worry, it's only a reenactment of warbird history. The 3-day show called Warbirds Over the Rockies brought hundreds of radio control airplane modelers and fans together at Arvada's Air Park in October.
Warbirds Over the Rockies is really a celebration of everything military aircraft. It has grown over the years into a world-class event.
We've got 5 foreign countries and 25 different states are represented here. We've got about 150 pilots and 450 to 500 airplanes.
Undaunted by the weather, a show at noon each day of the event drew admiring crowds. The planes are replicas of the real things, from World War I models to modern-day jets, and a lot of World War II birds in between.
It's an amazing spectacle. We have full-blown pyrotechnics, so there'll be bombing runs, there will be anti-aircraft fire. It's quite the production.
People are recreating history with these aircraft and telling a story about the pilot and the battle and what actually transpired.
This is one of my favorite airplanes. It's called Sleepy Jean. The original airplane, there were 3 Sleepy Jeans, and this was the last one that this pilot had. The pilot lived in Windsor, Colorado.
Brian O'Meara knows a few things about aviation history.
I've been building airplanes since 1953. I was 5 years old and entered my first model airplane contest when I was 5.
He started building radio-controlled planes in 1967. They've come a long way since then.
There are some of the planes that are valued over $40,000. You're mostly dealing with the jet turbines when you start getting into that kind of money.
The jets can go around 200 miles per hour.
The jets have got a true turbine engine in them and burn somewhere around 20 to 24 ounces of fuel a minute and put out about 750 degrees of heat out the back end of the airplane.
Becoming an ace pilot takes time and patience.
You have to have a huge concentration level, focus, and years of practice.
Warbirds Over the Rockies is in its 11th year. It came to the Arvada Associated Modelers Air Park for the first time this year after outgrowing previous locations around Fort Collins.
The core values really fits. I mean, the mission for Warbirds and Arvada Associated Modelers fit really well together. So we're really happy that they're here this year.
The Arvada Associated Modelers Group itself took flight in 1975 and has become one of the best clubs in the country, now with 300 members. In 2001, it worked with the city to develop this special use air park.
It was developed under the public-private partnership model that Arvada uses for a lot of its special use parks. So all of the improvements and maintenance here are done with private dollars, not tax dollars.
The air park is considered one of the best of its kind within 500 miles.
We're situated in what I call a little corner of paradise. We have 60 acres and we have another 120 acres that we're able to overfly over there at Patridge Park.
All that space makes it perfect for events like Warbirds Over the Rockies.
It's as lifelike as you can get without being in the real thing.
All proceeds from Warbirds Over the Rockies were donated to Colorado Mental Health. The Arvada Associated Modelers Group offers free lessons in radio control flying and welcomes all ages. For more information, go online to arvadamodelers.com.
Second Saturdays is really about celebrating summer in Old Town. It's about bringing the community into Old Town and just enjoying an old-fashioned street fair.
This sort of reminds us like small town life in the middle of a big city.
Good girl. You'll find your typical array of vendor booths, food booths, and you'll just see people you know from all over Arvada.
The family-friendly event on Grandview Avenue entertains kids with bounce houses, games, and face painting.
I love it down here. We try to come down. We're down at a couple of the restaurants on a pretty regular basis, so I just really like it down here.
Even four-footed friends enjoy the outdoor fair.
Fergie likes everything. She likes the dogs, the people, the food. Yeah, she likes it all.
The event is in its third year. Historic Old Town Arvada, known as HODA, sponsors the event, but it takes the help of others too.
You've got to have police, fire, the Parks Department helps us lay things out, all the various city departments. It's just an all-out effort for everybody.
Hours before the crowd shows up at 4:30, merchants and musicians are setting up, bringing in refreshments and filling the streets with the irresistible aromas of tasty treats. Scrumptious owner Scott Spears sponsors a patio.
We just set up tables and chairs and let whoever wants to come sit on them and enjoy the festival, they can come down and hang out. It gives us a chance to show what we have.
Silver Vines Winery agrees.
We're able to sell our wine on the street by the glass so people can walk around, enjoy the music, and enjoy the vendors while enjoying a glass of our wine.
We have some great music. We generally will have 2 or 3 bands.
I like coming to see local bands. I'm a musician myself, so it's fun to see my friends and support them. And we're here to support Windy Woo's great band. It's a lot of fun tonight.
The band performs all original music with hints of rock, blues, and country.
So it's just an amalgam of pop alternative.
And though they perform all over, they love coming home to the Colorado towns they grew up with.
I love the merchants. I love what they've done with it. I love the stores. I love the pick and parlor. They fix all my guitars, just the little boutique shops all up and down. And everyone's got a real friendly, small town feel.
A small town feel with a growing reputation.
We feel like Old Town is really starting to bust out in the region as kind of a best-known secret in the whole metro area.
That brings challenges.
Because Old Town has grown in popularity so much, parking is a little bit tighter.
Improvements are on the way, says Miller.
We're going to be looking at some construction coming up here probably in August, where the 2 parking lots to the south of Grandview will be gone, at least for a period of time, while they build the parking structure.
The bottom line?
Old Town is open for business.
Second Saturdays are just part of the merchant's commitment to the community, she says.
It says that Old Town truly is the vibrant heart of Arvada. It says the community wants events in Arvada. They want to come in their neighborhood and enjoy the ambiance of Old Town.
Second Saturdays run from 4:30 to 10 on Grandview Avenue between Old Wadsworth and Upham Streets. August 9th brings Dr. Robert and a Beatles music theme that celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Beatles appearing at Red Rocks. The events are free.